this question, and it's not a motion, it's not a vote, and I would just like to know this, how this poll is answered. We read an article from the paper tonight, and it had a list of names, and it appears to me they're all North Wolfboro residents. And my question, and I'll start with you, Jim, my question would be, do you support this position in the paper at this point, which is to not only be negative about the draft, but also to continue the abolishment of the Historic District Commission? And what I'm asking is, do you support it or do you not support it?
Does that, I don't see how that gets.
I'll tie it together, Your Honor, just a moment, okay?
Your Honor,
I'll tie it in.
I'd have to think about, because I don't fully understand what you're asking.
Well, the question is, do you support the rest of these residents and this article? And the last statement is, vote yes on Article 9 to abolish the Historic District Commission. It's a very simple question.
Because of the anger and the contempt.
I'm not asking you why that was written. I'm asking if you support that.
I'm explaining my answer. If I can't explain it, I will not answer
Well,
that.
let me do it this way. Why don't you just answer it, then you can explain your answer.
I need to explain my thoughts.
Okay, Ken, I'll ask you the same question. Do you support
Well,
this?
I like to, then let him explain it and give us an answer. Don't explain it without an answer.
I don't like being put on the spot.
My question was, Mr. Chairman, you have stated several times that statements should be made and backed up with facts.
That's correct.
My question is, what are the facts that back up that
They
statement
will be forthcoming.
that you made to the Board of Selectmen?
They will be forthcoming. Okay?
That's what I asked in my email of a couple of weeks ago, and that's what I was hoping I would hear.
You probably will. And I would just like to conduct this very brief poll. It shouldn't take a lot of time.
Ask someone else.
So you have no response. You're not either in support of it or not in support of it.
I'm not sure what the question you're asking is in terms, you've made it a two-part question. And it's, I don't know whether it's a have you stopped beating your wife sort of thing or not.
We'll just
So-
ask him the last question, right there.
Do you support Article 9 to abolish the Historic District Commission?
It's a free country, and I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to vote on that.
I didn't ask you how you're going to vote. I just asked you support. Ken, I'll ask you the same question, dude. And I'll tell you why I'm taking this poll as soon as we're done.
No, tell us now.
It's come into question that Ken has assumed that he is in the voting minority. And I didn't mention his name or Peter's or anybody's. Okay? And I'm trying to determine what is the minority feeling. Okay? And then I can answer Ken's questions.
On different subjects, we're different minorities.
That's why I asked you on this subject right here. Don't have the courage or conviction to answer. Would you like to answer that? Could you answer that question?
Excuse me, I don't think that's appropriate. Jim has said.
I apologize.
decided how
I apologize.
to vote,
Thank you.
And I have not decided yet how I'm going to vote.
It's not a vote.
No,
Well,
you
you're
asked,
asking us.
you asked our position on Article 9.
If you support this position, doesn't mean you're going to vote. Do you support these people in this position that they've taken?
It's a different question from what you asked before. And with regard to Article 9, I have not decided how I'm going to vote.
I see. Chuck, I'll ask you the question. Do you support the position of Article 9?
No, absolutely not.
Do you?
I think it's unfortunate that 8 very angry people feel that they speak for 2 separate historic districts when it's obvious that they don't. So I know they've enjoyed the spotlight for their anger, but I think it's unfortunate because I think there are a lot of people in the North Wolfboro area that may or may not support that position. There's a number of them told me they do not, but I certainly know that the majority of people that have spoken to me from Cotton Mountain do not. And they feel very put out that, and a little annoyed that no one has ever considered the fact that they're part of the historic district, even though it's two sections, and that their desires haven't been considered by these people that are writing these letters.
Okay, well, my question again is, do you support the article?
I don't support that letter.
Okay.
I absolutely do not. I don't support a lot of the nasty, unfounded things that have been said about me by those people.
Okay. I obviously do not support it. Do you support it?
Obviously not, no.
Peter Rossiger, do you support
I would reluctantly have to say I do support it,
it? Okay,
but with qualifications.
that's fine. That's fine. I don't need to know why you want, I'm just asking if you do or you do not. And the reason I ran this poll, which you felt so threatened by, was that it's my feeling, and I was speaking as a resident that night, that I think a lot of this ongoing battle is fueled by people in the minority on this commission. And I have to say, Jim, very honestly, your constant letters to the paper involved with it, your statement to the planning board that you're embarrassed by the Historic District Commission, I, as a resident, felt that fuels the ongoing battle. Now, you asked for documentation as to when those things have taken place. I didn't say they took place. I didn't say they are going to. I said it's the wish of the people that write these articles to go back to that. And I could quote almost verbatim Mr. Gordon Lang saying that we should go back to the soft touch of the previous administration. So that's my statement, okay? It didn't take place. This is what this group of people in North Wolfboro want to go back to, rather than what we've been trying to do with the rules and regulations and our procedures, and we're trying to adopt. That's my statement.
But that isn't what you said to the Board of Selectmen. What you said was, the ongoing running battle referred to is fueled by the minority, with a capital M, portion of the current HDC.
Okay.
And that certainly implies me.
Are you in the minority?
Many times, and probably Peter and Jim.
Okay.
And my question is, when have any one of us, or all of us, made any statements like the ones that you've quoted there?
Okay.
I'll be glad to weigh in on that when my turn
Well,
comes
wait a second,
around.
wait a second.
I'm embarrassed by the way the election was run at the very first meeting.
It's nothing to do with what I'm talking about right now. That may be your perception of that. I'm sure you have copies. I can find it here, but it has to do with your first presentation as the president of the North Wolfboro Association to the Board of Selectmen about it. Then your follow-up letter after the public hearing, and if you'd like me to pull it out, I will. Those are things I think could add to the fuel to the fire. Jim, numerous times you've made statements in the paper and in letters you've handed to me. So I think those things fuel, it's my opinion, they fuel the fire. People read that and they see what it is. So, yeah, they've happened.
I'm entitled to my opinion.
Of course you are, as I am too.
To the newspaper.
As I am too, and I feel that your negativism in the paper, and you obviously have supported this group as you were the first signer on the petition, and Mr. Panaccioni's new letter and whatever.
I was the first signer on one page of it.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
26 pages.
That's fine.
Other people handed it out.
That's fine. It's my opinion too. Yes.
When I made my presentation to the Board of Selectmen in September, as I made it very clear, and I believe the videotape and even the minutes will bear this out,
Mm-hmm.
that I was speaking as the president of the North Wolfboro Area Association. The letter had been written by an ad hoc committee of members at the direction of the membership.
Mm-hmm.
I was
You
not-
stated
I
you
was-
did not write it.
I did not write it.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so let's please make that clear.
Yeah,
And the petition is just to put it onto the warrant article.
Correct.
So that the people of the town can give us their opinion.
that's exactly right, but it still puts you in a minority position on this board, and that's what I was addressing. My observation, my feeling.
And to further respond to that, Mr. Chairman, I'm 95% certain that if Jim and I had not worked during the month of November to convince these concerned property owners that their petition should not be to abolish the historic district, which is where they started. And we successfully talked them out of presenting that kind of petition. So I don't think that qualifies as us fueling the run.
Matter of fact,
That
I-
incident may not, I'm not aware of that incident, so I can't answer that. I can only go by what I see and what I feel, and that's exactly what I said. I did not speak for the board, I spoke for myself.